we got tons of news yesterday. So we're going to talk about all the news that came out from the Hollywood Reporter about DC Studios and James Gunn's response today on Twitter. He's really good about responding to things.
He is.
And he responded.
And he doesn't lie.
He doesn't. He has always been extremely honest. If he says that's not happening, that's not happening. But what the Hollywood Reporter story claimed, Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. Jason Momoa likely out as Aquaman, but wanted as Lobo. Henry Cavill's Superman essentially done. Doom Patrol and Titans are done, which is very sad because Doom Patrol dropped today. I watched the first episode. The quality is still very high. Great show. Ben Affleck is out as Batman. The Flash is still releasing in June, but a week earlier. And there are no plans to touch Battison's section of the DC universe. So there's a lot.
I've heard. Here's the rumor I heard about the Flash, that they're going to reshoot the ending so that they can do a Flashpoint paradox.
Did you see that on our Twitter last night?
Is that where it was? No, that's not where I saw it. But did you put that up?
I just said, with all of this stuff coming out, maybe James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to film a new post-credit scene or the ending to The Flash. Because if they're hiring all new actors, they might want to make some change. But I didn't have any inside information. I was just guessing.
I can look. It was a trusted site. It was The Direct or something like that.
You can usually trust them.
Yeah, you can trust them.
So, before we start talking about what all this means, I'm going to read what James Gunn posted on Twitter today. He said, "So, as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true, some of it is not true, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm the DC studios knowing we are coming into a fractious environment, both in the stories being told and in the audience itself. And there would be unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. But in the end, the drawbacks of this transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far to help rectify what has not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer."
Nice, James Gunn. Way to do it.
He really is
to
just
say it.
absolute consummate professional.
Does absolute, does that count as an absolutely, or do we just take half a
Sure,
sip?
I'll take it.
All right.
So here's where we start thinking, okay, what do we think's true? What is half true? And what is not true at all? And what hasn't been decided?
So one thing that I love about the media reporting on this stuff, most online news media is basically clickbait anymore, as far as our headlines are concerned. Like, even if the actual article itself is something useful and good, like what you were talking about, and, you know, like the direct that Dave was talking about, a lot of times the headlines are very misleading. And ever since this news broke, a lot of the news headlines that were coming across my screen were James Gunn axes the Snyderverse, or Snyderverse coming to an end, internet outraged, things like that. And it's all meant to try and, you know, draw people in and make them get like, oh, I need to go to that article and see what's going on. And it'll be something perfectly normal, like what you just said, where it's like, oh, well, this is true, this probably isn't true. Am I broken up over the fact that Henry Cavill may no longer be Superman? Not so much. He didn't seem that into it anymore anyway. It took begging and pleading to get him to do that one cameo appearance in Black Adam. So, if he doesn't really want to do it anymore, then hey, move on to bigger, better things. We can always find another Superman. We can start it fresh and maybe actually tell his story correct. I'm
Go
sure
back
you
to The Witcher.
gentlemen. What's that?
I said he can go back to The Witcher.
Yeah.
No, he cannot.
Oh,
Liam Hemsworth has already taken over the role. So if he did quit,
whoops.
if he did quit The Witcher to be Superman again, I mean that may have been a bad choice. But once again,
That was a
some
serious miscalculation on his part.
when he says some of these are half truths, part of the article said that Man of Steel 2 was no longer moving forward,
Okay.
which could be true because maybe they're getting a new Superman movie, not a sequel to Zack Snyder's old Man of Steel.
Do
So
you think they're going to still maybe do another Justice League and that's where he'll play Superman? Or do you think that they're going to make a new Superman movie with him, just they're going to sort of restart it?
I think they might restart it. I don't know. Like you said, Henry Cavill has had a very bad relationship with DC Studios.
Mm-hmm.
He's wanted to do I think he loves the character and he wanted to do it, but just the way he was treated and kind of dropped and all the things that went on, he may be hesitant to do so. But I think if James Gunn, because Cavill liked Whedon's take on Superman a little more than Snyder's, because he said,
I mean, with some happiness and brightness and color and
being
not murdering a bus full of kids.
right, being the beacon of hope. So it may be something where, him, because he even said he was looking forward to talking to James Gunn. Now, maybe those talks fell through. We don't know what's the half truth. We don't know what's the truth. But when people said, Man of Steel 2 is done and automatically assume Cavill is out, I don't know if that's true because it could be true, we're not getting Man of Steel 2, but we could be getting a brand new Superman movie, not a sequel to Man of Steel with Cavill. Or it could be another, a different Superman. Because I think one thing we know for sure, James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to use the big characters from DC. We're going to see Batman. We're going to see Superman. We're going to see Wonder Woman. We're going to see Green Lantern. We're going to see Aquaman. Exactly. And, we see things like Wonder Woman 3 canceled. Well, yeah,
no.
Probably.
I'm so sad over this news. I'm very troubled. Let me quickly hurry up and I'm typing a letter to James Gunn right now. Do you see me typing? I'm letting him know.
Yes.
Very upset.
I tell you what, though, they gotta stop replacing actors. Whoever they choose next has got to stick with the role for a while. They can't just have them like one movie or two movies and out. They have to stick with them.
I don't agree with that completely, and here's why. If they had a more cohesive, connected universe, I would say, yeah, I totally agree with you. They shouldn't keep replacing the actors. Like, if they were doing it MCU style, where they had one ongoing connected universe, it would be very weird to suddenly see Tony Stark played by somebody other than Robert Downey Jr. It'd be weird to see, somebody else coming in and, playing Captain America. Because of the way DC is right now, how fractured it is, you know what? Replace people as you see fit.
No, but I think Dave's
as of
saying if they
now.
replace them, yeah. But if they're going to tell, like he said, we're telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation,
if
and
they're
game.
actually going to do that going forward, then leave the characters in place. Write a contract. Make sure that they know, hey, we need you in for like a minimum 5-film deal or something.
Yeah, do what Marvel
That's what
Studios
Marvel
does.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do. That's why.
You got to be dedicated.
I'm so glad that Sam Jackson signed on for as long as he did, because can you imagine anybody else playing Nick Fury?
No, not at all.
Just imagine if they replaced him after like 5 or 6 movies. It'd be like, what?
What's so weird about that? So you read the Ultimate Spider-Man books. They came out before his appearance in Iron Man. That comic series, and when they had remade Nick Fury for that series, they designed him after Samuel L. Jackson. So it is kind of funny that they eventually did get Sam Jackson to play Nick Fury when he had been in the comic books basically prior to his appearance in the films.
Like in Deadpool, when they kept saying that if they made a movie about me, they'd have to have Ryan Reynolds play me.
Yep.
They said that a bunch of times in Deadpool. So.
Well, and then,
what else you got, Keith?
Well, I was just going to say, just because Wonder Woman 3 is canceled doesn't mean we're not getting another Wonder Woman movie. But it'll be rebooted as part of this new cohesive universe. I am happy that they're not going to try to do it doesn't sound to me now like they're trying to do a soft reboot or anything else. They are going to reboot this universe and start over at step one, which I think
should
is
be clear about something. I have no issue with Gal Gadot. I thought she was an amazing Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I thought Wonder Woman, the first one, was great. It was a really good movie. The ending, not great, but the rest of the movie, very good, very fun. Wonder Woman 84 was my big problem with her. In fact, she was probably one of the only good parts of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Agree on that.
So, I need that to be clear, Internet. I have no issue with Gal Gadot. I thought she did an amazing job. I just did not want to see Wonder Woman 3 after Wonder Woman 84. I could not imagine it getting any better than that.
Yeah. She's definitely, when I heard that they hired her to play that, I was like, no, that's not going to work. And then I saw her play it. Yeah, she nailed it.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, if they keep some of the actors that have been there, like I'm okay with Henry Cavill staying. I'm okay with Gal Gadot staying. Ben Affleck, he's
maybe not. Maybe not.
The fact that it sounds like Jason Momoa is not going to be coming back as Aquaman after Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I think they can move on from Amber Heard also. Mm-hmm. But
I got a question about him. So one of the rumors that you had mentioned was that he was folks wanted him to play Lobo, which once you said that would be an amazing fit for him. And now that is in my head, I'm thinking, my God, why didn't they do that to begin with? Jason Momoa would have been an amazing main man. I mean,
that's how bad their casting is over at Warner Brothers. I mean, they got Cavill and they got Wonder Woman. They got Gal Gadot. Those were great. All the rest seemed like or kind of suspect, you know. Not like Marvel seems to hit on all cylinders when they cast. So maybe James Gunn knows some casting people and can bring him over.
Well, look at James Gunn. He does a pretty good job of casting his movies too. So I hope that carries over.
You know what I think really helps though with Marvel? It's the actors. Yes, they're fine, but here's the thing that I think people forget every single film cycle. I'm going to call it that. I don't really have another name for it, but every time a new big film series is about to come out, and some actor is going to be playing a role that people are a little hesitant about, like going back to the Joker in The Dark Knight. A lot of people were like really up in arms over that, like, oh, there is no way that Heath Ledger can be the Joker. That goofy, blonde bro, that frat boy, I cannot see him as the Joker. And then it turned out he was a really good Joker. Going back even further, people were saying, oh, there is no way that Michael Keaton could ever play Batman. He's a comedian. He plays in funny movies. He can't put him as... And he was a really good friggin' Batman. So, I think what it boils down to is not so much the actor. The actor is part of it. Don't get me wrong. You got to be able to transition into the role. But the other part is you've got to have a good story, and you've got to have really good writing. Because you can have a great actor, but you can have a shit story.
You can have a great actor with a terrible director, and he's not going to get the most out of it.
So. Zack Snyder.
I mean, and
those
two that you mentioned, those are like the exception to the rule as far as like DC has been concerned. Like,
well, okay,
they normally do a
Robert
bad
Downey
job.
Jr. Dave. Nobody thought that he was going to be a good Iron Man because he was coming off of a bunch of huge alcohol issue. People were like, I mean, he's a good actor, but there's no way he can be Tony Stark. There's no way he's going to do this role well. And people were very hesitant when they heard that he... In fact, in that first movie, he was one of the lowest paid actors because people were like, I don't know, he could relapse, he might not do a good job. And so nobody really had high hopes for Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. And then look what happened.
And they did not want Favreau to cast him.
No,
Favreau said, he's going to kill it. He's going to do great.
So,
I want him. And Disney was kind of like, no. And he's like, listen, just trust me on this. And thankfully they did because it turned out to be the right thing.
So my question is, Doug, what's your point? I'm just saying WB's terrible at casting. And so what's your point?
My point is that maybe the casting isn't really the biggest issue because I think Henry Cavill could have been a good Superman if you gave
Oh
them a
no,
good
it's
story.
definitely not the biggest issue. You're right. It's the stories. The story. We've always said that on this channel.
Yeah, Gal
If
Gadot,
you got a
great
good story, it
Wonder
doesn't
Woman, terrible
matter.
story.
But I mean, I don't
even
care if
think-
it's a big name actor or not, as long as they get the right person. You know, but a right person, right or not, is not going to fix a bad script.
No, that's the yes, that's exactly it. A lot of times you might just be stuck with a bad script, a bad director, terrible story. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate because I think,
Yeah, look at Iron Man 3.
yeah, oh god,
Keith's favorite movie.
Oh man.
you know,
It's
for a while they had me going because I with Iron Man 3, oh boy, I really thought that I'm like, man, they did a good job casting the Mandarin. Holy shit, this dude is scary.
Oh yeah.
and
Then
you'll
they fuck
never see me coming.
I mean, that was good. That was
Oh, yeah.
That trailer, I mean, that's part of the reason why I despise Iron Man 3 so bad. They hooked me with that trailer. I was like, my God, Ben Kingsley. I thought it was a weird choice for the Mandarin, but when I heard him talk like that, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is going to be just nuts. And it was nuts in a very bad way. And I know the movie's probably pretty good. I think most people do a good job acting in it. I just cannot get past the twist. I know it's a fanboy thing in me. I can't get past it. I can't watch that movie without it angering up my blood because I just.
That was a terrible twist.
Yep.
I'm not as mad at it anymore. I was for a long time, but now that I've seen Shang-Chi, I'm not as mad at it anymore.
I'm glad they redeemed
Yeah.
Wenwu and the Mandarin a little bit, but
Yep.
I'm still mad
Yeah,
at
Trevor
it.
Slattery should have never existed.
No.
Nope.
But anyway, back to Warner. The other thing that I want to kind of talk about a little bit that you had mentioned, Keith, was the Flash, and Dave kind of brought this up as well, talking about the potential that they might end up reshooting, the end of it. So even though James Gunn has the say as far as like what's going on with the DC universe, they're still gonna shelf Batgirl and move forward with the Flash.
Yes. The reason I think that's happening is so much money is invested, and they think, according to everyone's these tests, screenings that they've had, it has just been rated out of the park. They think it's a gold mine, and they want to release it to have some money, like because they're still releasing. We get 4 DC films this year. We get Shazam: Fury of the Gods. We get The Flash. We get Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, and we get Blue Beetle. And then
That
James
would
Gunn
suck
said,
to start Blue Beetle and then start him over like the next movie.
Yeah.
well, I think it's one of those things where we may get Blue Beetle in the DCU, but it's going to be down the line a little bit. But I think they're releasing these movies knowing, I'm sure they told the cast of Blue Beetle, listen, with James, or at least they figured it out themselves. We're probably not going to get a sequel because it's not going to be a part of the DCU at this point. But we're going to release this film. You guys did great. We appreciate the work. And hopefully down the line, maybe we can do something with you. But I don't see Blue Beetle being, a phase 1 movie of the DCU. And I hate using phase 1, but I do think we're going to.
It's kind of like an Ant-Man type, It would slide in right before the second team-up movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Blue Beetle. I love the character ever since I watched Young Justice. That character has moved up on my list of DC favorites. So I definitely want to see it. I'm glad they're releasing this movie. I wish they would have released Batgirl. Even if it's a one-time thing, it could be an entertaining movie at least.
It's funny that you bring up Young Justice. They liked I don't have his name in front of me right now, and it's not in my head, but the guy who did the voice acting for Blue Beetle in Young Justice, they were so thrilled with the job that he did and how he kind of brought that character to life. They used the same voice actor for all of the DC animated movies, and it was basically like a one-for-one. Like they basically copy-pasted the version of Blue Beetle from Young Justice into the Teen Titans of the DC animated movies. And I remember the first time that they had introduced the Teen Titans in there, I was like, oh my God, that's literally the same Blue Beetle. Like, that's crazy. Okay.
But then, I do think we're going to get a Wonder Woman movie. I do think we're going to get an Aquaman movie after The Lost Kingdom.
Eventually.
Just not with Jason Momoa. Superman, definitely.
Well, what about Green Arrow and Green Lantern?
I would
think
love
that's the
to see
question.
Green Lantern.
I think we're going to see, because we know James Gunn's love of odder, characters in these universes. He's definitely going to use the major, the big five. But I think we'll see stories with Green Lantern and Green Arrow. I think Black Canary is going to show up. I think we're going to see, a lot of these, we'll see the Green Lanterns, but it won't just be Hal Jordan, it'll be Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
It'll be all
He'll pick some of the weirder offshoot Green Lanterns that. Oh God, what if he did? What's his name? The first Green Lantern from the Golden Age.
Oh, Alan.
Yeah.
The guy from the JSA. I can't.
Yeah.
Not Alan Thicke, no.
How funny would that be to make like an old school Green Lantern movie with a dude who his weakness is wood. I could really see James Gunn doing that. I don't know if it would be any good, but I could see him doing that because it would be weird.
Yeah, but we'll get probably a lot of these characters, and I just hope, my one wish, and I think James Gunn doesn't rush things per se. He builds the story right. I think one of our main problems with the DCEU is they want to rush to all the modern stories instead of having any building ground. I still don't know.
Gilbert Gottfried.
I think, they're going to start with just Batman. Eventually, we'll get the Robins and some of the smaller characters. But I don't think they're just going to rush to the Red Hood and all this other stuff. So I think they're going to take their time. They're going to build it right. We're going to get all the characters that we need.
Wait, hold on, Keith. Are you trying to say that they're not going to introduce a Robin and then make him Red Hood within 3 episodes' time like they did in Titans? You mean that's not a good idea?
They're also not going to have a dead Robin in the first Batman film. Let's have a couple dead Robins just for fun. Who cares? I just hope, for God's sakes, they hire Jared Leto, Dave's favorite Morbius actor, as the Joker, because he was awesome. Awesomely terrible.
I'll tell you. Who else? Yeah, it's right. Sierra, Doug. Yeah, he got it. It's right behind him. You see right past his shoulder there, Sierra?
Over his right shoulder.
Yeah, no one else can play. No one else. Well, let's just say no one else has played Morbius. Let's just say that.
So true.
Well, Dave, as they said when they were rating that amazing movie, it was one of the movies of 2022.
It was. It was definitely one of the movies that came out that year.
And
Doug, Sierra wants to know what you think of the art.
I think it is really good. Check this out, everybody. I don't know if you can see it back there. This is what I finally got in the mail. I've been waiting to get this. What do you think? I think it's a really good likeness. I like it. I like the lightning bolt coming out of the eyes. I think that's a nice added effect.
Yeah,
So thank you very
it turned
much.
out great.
I will gladly display that for all to see.
She
Yes,
definitely
I
made you
was.
look great. It's amazing. She's quite the artist.
That is very hard to do. I will. So kudos to you.
Very well done. She's so happy, yay.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your point there, Gilbert?
Oh, I just think, one of the main problems, as we always talked about, you have an older, grizzled Batman and a young Superman. It just didn't make sense. We need them all young. We need a young Batman, all of them growing together, becoming the Justice League together. I trust James Gunn to do it right.
If you're going to make a connected universe, absolutely yes. If you're trying to make a bunch of one-off movies and you want to introduce...
Absolutely, yes.
And and you want to introduce an older version of Bruce Wayne for the purposes of the one-off movie that you're trying to make in the Dark Knight Returns universe, okay. But don't tell me that it's part of a connected universe when all of a sudden you're trying to make me believe that Superman has been Superman for like, what, a year and a half. And Batman has apparently been Batman for 20, 30 years or some shit. Already has a dead Robin or two.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's like a ridiculous. And at this point, they still have not managed to form a Justice League or anything like. That made no sense. I get.
You know what that is? That's fan service done wrong. You know, when they just try and throw everything that
Is
the
that what
fans
he
like
was
in the
trying to do?
comics.
Was that all fan service?
It seems like it because they didn't expand on it.
No, they certainly didn't. That's for sure.
You just threw it in there.
I remember when they announced that Ben Affleck was going to be playing Batman, and then when they started showing the version of Batman, they're saying, and Zack Snyder is up there like, well, I took a lot of inspiration from The Dark Knight. And I'm like, dude, come on, this is your first introduction of Batman in your DC connected universe, and you're already skipping ahead to after he retired and restarted. Like, that's the wrong Batman, bro. Like, what are you doing? So,
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was fan
build up
service
to it.
or if that. To me, I think what he actually did is, I think he went on Google and he was like, most popular Batman, and then that was like number one after The Killing Joke, and he's like, there we go, I'm done.
Just think if he would have used Bing, we would have got a better Batman in the DCEU. It would have probably bought up Batman Year One or something, and we would have been okay. Stupid Google.
That's a good place to start, Batman Year One.
Yeah. There's so many better comics out there that they could have used for reference material. I mean, he should have done some sort of research at all. Like just one iota of research, a little bit. Look into these characters because, Dave, would you say that he got Superman correct?
I would say no.
Oh.
Not at all.
Dave, Keith, would you say that he got Batman correct?
He did not.
No.
He did not. Huh. All right. Would you say that he got the Joker correct? Do you think he nailed the Joker?
Dear God, no. Jared Leto.
Well, to be fair to Zack Snyder,
Okay, that was
that was David Ayer, and supposedly there's a whole bunch. But I don't think did the DCEU get the Joker correct? He did not.
No, I didn't even like. I know everybody else did in the world, but I didn't like the Joker movie, just because it was so, like it could have not happened. And by the end of it, all of it could
was
have not
definitely a
happened.
what if movie. That's for sure. It was like a big old what if movie.
Well,
I
and
know,
Sierra,
it won an Oscars for it, so but
Sierra says my fantasy Batman movie would be Pattinson Batman with the same cast from his movie, just with Heath Ledger Joker. And I you know what? I am shocked. We talked earlier about when someone gets cast and you like when Ben Affleck was cast. I was like, come on, he already ruined Daredevil. Hopefully Tundra Walker's not here because he'll yell at me. But I'm like, he doesn't need to be Batman. It's the bad choice. And when they cast Pattinson, I was kind of half and half. I was kind of like, okay, he's done some really good acting work post Twilight. He's a good young actor. I think he can pull it off. It has to be the right movie. And I think you guys know what I think of the Batman. I love that movie. I probably need to watch it again. It's been a while since I watched it. That theme song is still, living rent-free in my head.
I was about to say, do you like it mostly because of the theme song, or is the movie actually really that good?
No, I enjoy the movie too. I love the fact that he's, kind of ignorant about things. He's learning how to be the world's greatest detective. He's learning how to be this costume vigilante. He's learning as he goes along. And I think that's, Dave, we talked about Batman Year One, and that's what was so great about that comic. He wasn't the guy that can defeat anybody with the proper, time to prep. He was learning all this stuff and making mistakes, and then you see that character build. And I think they kind of got that right in the Batman. So, we haven't heard yet, and I wonder if there's a chance that Robert Pattinson could be the DCU Batman, or if he's going to say, I don't really want that. I'm not doing, 20 Batman movies. I'm just working, they'll keep the Batterson over in its own little cubbyhole, and then they'll have a different DC, you Batman. But I would.
I have a question now. As long as we're talking about casting and we're talking about Batman, this is a new thing I suggested to Keith and Doug this week, and I think we have Sierra on here with us, and that's it. But and obviously we know who her favorite Batman is, Pattinson. But if anybody wants to put in the chat for the YouTube viewers, if you want to put down below in the comments, put who your favorite Batman is and tell us why. All right, Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. I want to hear what folks think. Is the bet. You know what? Here's one better. I'm gonna put one on top of that. Not only do I want to
why is Gamora?
Not only do I want to hear who your favorite actor is who has already played Batman, I want to know who you would fan cast to play a future Batman if we're going to make... If Robert Pattinson is not going to be the DCU connected universe Batman, who should it be? I personally think that might be the case. If James Gunn is going to kind of like hit the restart button and kind of create his own brand new universe, I think Robert Pattinson would be the Batman of that universe. I think he will probably get himself a new Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern. I think he'll probably start fresh. Now, I don't know what that means for his take on Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. I don't know where they're going to fit in all of that. I don't know what that means for Shazam. I don't know if there's going to be two existing universes at the same time, or if that's going to all eventually come to an end.
I honestly think everything that has been done before is just going to be done. Like Shazam's done, Aquaman's done in this iteration, and I think everything is going to start new. And I think that's the right way to go. Just complete reboot. We may have some actors be the same. I'm okay with keeping some of these actors because once again, I don't blame the actors, but I do think, they start fresh. We get a first movie of the new DCEU, or DCU, I should say, and it's Batman or it's Superman, and then they build off it from there. They have the post-credit scenes to kind of build, do world building. And I trust with James Gunn and Peter Safran kind of mapping all this out that they'll be able to do it correctly. It'll keep building on itself as they go down. They don't need to keep, Zachary Levi as Shazam, I think was great. But if they're not going to have Shazam come around for a couple of years, they can recast him. I'm fine with that. They can keep Zachary Levi too. It's fine. Just
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans, yes.
Or somebody younger.
Yeah, Chris Evans is starting to get up there a little bit.
So is Zachary Levi, unfortunately.
Yeah. But he does a good job of playing a boy in a man's body.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like if they keep Gal Gadot, I think we talked about it before. I'm fine with that. I really hope they do recast Jason Momoa though as Lobo. Not because, he's not terrible as Aquaman, but he is he would be a much better Lobo.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That would be amazing. I would love to see that. What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Lobo, here. I'm gonna capture this guy and take him as I'm a bounty hunter in space or some shit. I don't know. Haven't read a Lobo comic in a long time. But I killed Santa.
And you would see
Which is a real thing that happened in the comics.
Well, and just remember, a few months ago, maybe a month ago, Jason Momoa posted something on Instagram where he was like just overly excited about some news he got. And people were assuming this was like right after James Gunn posted a picture of Lobo on Twitter.
Oh.
And the timing on that is why it's getting so much heat that they think he's going to be Lobo, because the timing of both of those events were very coincidental. Could have been very coincidental, but they could have been talking about the same thing. And with all of there's been no, that I've seen, everyone's like, yeah, make him Lobo. Yes, we need Lobo in the DCU, and Jason Momoa should play him. There's been no one like, no, Zack Snyder said that he was going to hire, Dustin Hoffman to play Lobo, so we need Dustin Hoffman. That didn't happen. I'm trying to think of an actor.
The worst possible actor to be Lobo, yeah.
Yeah. And
Ryan
They hired
Gosling.
Bernie Sanders to be Lobo today.
Daniel Radcliffe. He's going to play Lobo in the DCU and
I
Wolverine in
could
the MCU.
see, in a Zack Snyder world, that I could absolutely see.
Anthony
Skinny,
Starr.
goth teenager Lobo.
Oh,
That'd be
Anthony
funny.
Starr.
They hire Anthony Starr to play Superman.
That would be funny.
No. That
Yeah.
would be funny, but no.
I could see
Absolutely
Jensen
not.
Ackles, though.
Yeah.
Soldier Boy.
I think either one of them could play it well, but I think after playing Homelander,
That'd be
I
tough.
couldn't see him playing Superman.
Same.
I think it would be very
Same.
That's
tough.
why it'd be perfect. They should make Brightburn 2 as part of the DCU.
Yes, I agree. I think that would be good. I liked Brightburn. That was a good movie.
I did
was.
too.
It was
It was entertaining. But I mean, and honestly, at this point, everything we talk about is just conjecture until we find out. Supposedly, the plan is being laid out next week to David Zaslav. Man with the plan. It's all.
But not 10 years, so.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
You know, when he said that on the trailer, I thought that was better than whatever they did in the movie. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, the same thing with "In time, you will know what it's like to lose."
Yes.
To feel so desperately that you're right, but fail all the same. Dread it, run from it. Destiny still arrives. I can't believe I still have that memorized in my head. But here we are.
Good line.
It is. It was when that Infinity War trailer. Still to this day, watching it, I'm still blown away at how. I mean, I was already super hyped for that movie, just knowing, based on the comics, what we're probably going to see. And then that trailer dropped, and I was like, I couldn't sleep for a week. I couldn't wait for that movie to come out. We got
And we
sidetracked.
saw it 4 or 5 times in the first weekend.
Yeah. I would have gladly seen Infinity War every day if it was out in theaters. Because
I love that movie.
yeah, it was just so well done.
There's another example of an actor who they got to play 2 different roles in not exactly the same universe, but, within the same comic book series, I guess. Josh Brolin, when they had him play Thanos, and they had him play Cable.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Basically
Chris
the
Evans did it
same
too.
voice, but two different actors, or 2 different characters, and he was able to pull it off. So, for anybody...
Chris Evans did it too.
For anybody who's getting in the comments telling us, no, Jason Momoa can't be Lobo. Yeah, he could.
Yeah, he definitely could. I mean, anyone like Dave just mentioned, Chris Evans went from the Human Torch to
Yep.
Steve Rogers. Michael B. Jordan went from Johnny Storm. That's weird. There was 2 Human Torch actors. He went on to be Killmonger. I mean, it definitely can be done as long as the actor is good enough. There's not going to be any problems. But I mean, I'm just looking for. I think it's great too that he keeps saying one of the things that he has reiterated this multiple times. A cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. That's huge because the MCU doesn't. I mean, they have some animation as part of the MCU, but I mean, they've had like the Avengers Assemble cartoon and Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon that have nothing to do with the MCU. So this is going to be everything. We're going to get games based in this universe, which it'd be great. They come out with like a Superman game, and things happen in it, and
it adds to the story. Yeah,
it adds depth. It should be interesting. I really cannot wait to hear this plan. I would be willing to sit through a DC fandom to find out what exactly we're going to get from James Gunn in the DCU.
Yay.
Well, at least if they put one out now, it wouldn't be a Snyder self-love-a-thon. Oh, all these people came to me. They wanted me to do this, release a Snyder cut. I started it.
Wait a minute, Dave. Are you telling me that you didn't enjoy just watching Zack Snyder furiously cranking it for 45 minutes on a camera? You didn't enjoy that? Just
it caught me on the wrong day.
Justice League, Snyderverse. I started it all. I'm everything. I am the DC.
I just can't wait.
You're not.
I just can't wait. I wonder here's the real question. So if you're watching this, comment down below. How long will it take the Snyder cultists to give up on the Snyderverse?
Yeah.
I mean, could we be
Never.
could we be in like phase 6 of the DCU, and they'll still be every tweet that James Gunn has comes out, or every tweet Warner Brothers have going, release the Snyderverse,
I
restore
was
it.
about to say, have you been on Twitter?
No, I know they don't stop. I mean, once again, I'm not going to tell anyone they're wrong. They love this movie.
I will.
They think it's great. It's subjective. Hey, enjoy your movie,
No.
guys. It's
No,
not
it is
happening.
subjective. Zack Snyder is objectively a bad director.
I won't. I believe that is.
Objectively bad DC movies.
I agree with that statement.
At DC movies, yeah. I like a couple of his movies. He's like 2 out of 7 for me.
Honestly, and it's funny. I still haven't seen that. What was it, Dawn of the Dead, or the one that
that's
his
the one.
film was it called Dawn of the Dead? No, the newest one, the heist in Vegas. one.
The one where they no, that wasn't Dawn of the Dead. That was I haven't seen that either. The one that was on Netflix.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Right.
But he's coming out
God, I can't
with
remember the name of it. I haven't seen it either. Or heard it was terrible.
Rebel Moon, for those of you that are unfamiliar, on Netflix too, which is like his space odyssey, his space opera. He's always wanted to direct a Star Wars movie supposedly, and so this is him just creating his own universe. I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it. I love sci-fi. I'll see if he has his own characters. Maybe I won't be so, upset when Superman lets his dad die by a tornado instead of something he can't stop, or having to learn that killing's bad by killing somebody. I mean, I think in the right setting, he could do a good job. I think his cinematography is really good. He's got a great eye for cinematography. Just his writing and the way his plot flows, I leaves something to be desired, in my opinion.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
a scene. I've already seen the script for Rebel Moon. Here's a scene that he's got laid out. It's dark. The dark side of the moon. We come upon our main character. There's no sun. Again, the moon is very dark. We see jet black long hair running down past the shoulders. His name is Duke. Duke Starkiller. He ignites his laser katana, totally different from a lightsaber. Super
Here's
new.
this droid. D4RS.
He walks up. He walks up behind his uncle who has raised him since he was a boy. He ignites his light katana and he says, I will go to Tashi for power converters and you will not stop me. End scene.
And movie.
Oh, by the way, he's the hero? Yeah,
Oh, and
he's a good guy.
Gandalf's in this too, right?
Yeah.
So they gotta have a space wizard.
That would be awesome. Gandalf in Rebel Moon. Oh, we're on to something, people. This is going to be the greatest thing of all time. You guys are going to be so upset when I've got my Rebel Moon hat and shirt and I'm watching opening day, and it is a cultural phenomenon.
Is it going to theaters or is his
No,
intent
no.
for it to be
Straight to
I didn't
Netflix.
think so. Yeah, that tracks.
Well, I mean, you can't blame Netflix. His fans are rabid.
Yeah.
They will, if they don't have Netflix now, the day it comes out, they will order it. They will watch it. It'll have tons of minutes viewed, and that's worth it to Netflix. They don't care if the movie's bad or not. They just want people watching and subscribing
Yes, they
to
do.
them.
And to be fair, they're not really watching it either.
Yeah.
They're too busy just, so good. I'm tired.
Did you see that cinematography? Did you see they make Superman? He's
Did you see how deep those characters were? Oh my god.
Did you see
they're
those
so
opening
dark.
credits? That was amazing.
Did you see that
No
guy?
credit scenes.
Did you see that guy giving that other guy a Jolly Rancher? Oh my God, the subtext in that scene. It's
He
blowing
punched
my
it right
mind.
into his mouth.
That was so incredible. That it's like genius.
Genius. So dark, you guys just wouldn't understand. It's very mature. You guys just aren't mature because you like your bright, happy cartoon movies, but
You
we
like
like
your-
something.
You like your baby movies. MCU is for kids.
Oh no, we're losing Zack Snyder subscribers. Ooh.
Hey, if you're a Zack Snyder fan, this probably ain't the right channel for you. But enjoy his movies. I'm not going to tell you not to. I could really care less. But don't tell me I should enjoy. And that's the thing that I'm sure there are fans of Zack Snyder who don't jump into every Twitter conversation talking about how great he is. You know what?
That doesn't exist.
Like what you like, and find others that do too. You don't need to tell me I'm wrong for not liking his movies because I think they're terrible.
Oh, you're always wrong.
True.
Lining.
Hey, Sierra's back.
Sia's back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again.
But, other than that, honestly, there's only so much we can talk about with this because really only James Gunn and Peter Safran know what they're planning at this point. But I really cannot wait to find out.
the rumors right now.
I'm really hoping we get this first film in the DCU in 2024 because we know we're not getting it in 2023 because they already got 4 films coming out.
So what are we thinking for the title? If we go ahead and we split this into 2 videos, we got a Midnight Suns playthrough for one, and we've got WB for the other. I'm thinking for the thumbnail, I'm going to have Zack Snyder, and I'm going to have let's see, who do I want? Anyway, he's going to be fisticuffs, right? He's going to ready to fight. And he's going to defend his DCE. Oh, and then for the title for the video, I'm going to put James Gunn destroys the Snyderverse.
I love it. And he probably is. And it's funny because there's already rumors out that, James Gunn is friends with Whedon, and Whedon got him to destroy the Snyderverse because they hate. Zack Snyder, they're jealous of him. And it's like, for one, James Gunn and Zack Snyder are friends. He wrote, like, Dawn of the Dead that he directed early on in his career. They know each other. They're friendly. I don't think James Gunn has anything against Zack Snyder. He has come in, and as a creative person,
They're just 2 different directors.
Yeah,
They got 2 different views.
He is going to do his own thing, and he doesn't want anyone else's baggage. He's going to start it fresh, and that is the absolute right way to go. And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.